We are live.
Hey guys, Mathew Ventures here. I am Mathew Ventures.
Scott Mulligan here.
What was that?
Scott Mulligan over here. And together we are BVP.
We are BVP. I didn't have a shirt, so I just got a blanket. I'm not trying to make a statement or anything. I just didn't have a t-shirt. So right now it's about 2:42 a.m. We're gonna launch NSA today on the 4th of July. We're very excited about doing so. But we first wanted to answer some questions that we got from you guys. We got two questions, which was, hey, two more than a Q&A with
Two
no
more than
questions.
last year.
Two more than last year.
We could say that.
So the first question, I guess I'll let Scott take this one. How you guys, this is from Elena, I think, how you guys found the idea of No Stranger, and how long did it take to make the game Kisses from Turkey?
Okay. Yeah, also, to clue people in on the joke, I am definitely not Scott. I am Mr. Ventures in the flesh. Okay, so
That's a joke you always make, Scott. That's so funny.
There you go. Okay, so how do we come up with the idea for No Stranger? It was really an amalgam of different things. I would say the first part of it was when I played this game called Lifeline, which was made by this guy. Scott knows what's his name?
Oh, geez.
I don't remember his name. But check it out, Lifeline. It's available now, and then they have another app, Lifeline Universe, where Lifeline, the original, is free. And as part of this game, basically, you could help this astronaut on his quest. And part of that was he has this sort of he's stuck on a planet that's really cold, and he's next to this like radiator which is with nuclear energy, and he wants to know whether or not he's going to get irradiated and sick from sleeping next to this radiator, something like that. And so you actually have to look up online, or you don't have to, but what I did was I looked up online the maximum amount of radiation you could take. And I said, you know, this is not going to be safe, don't do it, or something like that. So I really love that idea of leaving the app in order to find something out in the real world, like looking it up online. And then I thought, like, wow, wouldn't it be cool if there was a whole game surrounded by that? And I am definitely not the best when it comes to crafting narrative. I think I'm more of like one of like gameplay ideas kind of guy. So my original idea was just like you're helping out a hitman to track people down and kill people, and that's why the game is originally called Hitman. But then I was lucky enough to have Scott, my best friend from high school, join me after I begged him many times, and he made an amazing story. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't think you begged me many times. I think like my version of that is like Matthew and I have always been making kind of games together since like we were in freshman year probably of high school, just not successfully, and arguably still not.
What other games do we make together?
The Lost one.
Oh, wait, that's the one with the like soul catching, right?
Exactly.
Did that ever
Exactly.
launch? What happened to that?
That never launched. That never made it past
Who
the
was that
first
with? Who
level.
were you working on that?
TJ.
Huh. All right. I guess we did have prior experience.
Yeah, so then Matt came to me and he was like, "Hey, do you want to make games?" Initially I write screenplays, that's for television and movies and that sort of thing, but they were really like I would pitch them a lot, but there was constantly a gatekeeper kind of in the way when you're making a screenplay because when you're making a film, a lot of the time, and this is not true of all films, but a lot of the time with the stuff that I was writing, you needed a big crew and you needed a lot of people. So it was kind of like it always felt like there was a big barrier in the way. So when Matthew came to me and he was like, "Hey, you want to make video games?" Or when you want, and I was like, "Okay, a video game." And then he was like, "Do you want to make a mobile game?" And then I was like, I think at first I was a little tentative, and then and then he was like, "Well, what video game ideas do you have?" And then I told him a bunch of video game ideas, and he was like, "Okay, great, none of those. What do you think about this idea about like a hitman and you message him back and forth?" And I thought it was a fun idea. And then I like doing a text adventure game because it just felt like the most uh, stripped down thing possible. I guess that's like a really nice way of putting it when it's literally just text, right? There's no visuals to support it really, as many of our critics of No Stranger would say.
Well, there's the blogs and stuff, right?
Well, besides the blogs and stuff, but I'm
And
saying like
videos. We did a lot of AV for the game.
yeah, we did videos and stuff, which was definitely something I wanted to bring and try to do on the project. And doing those kind of outside blogs and outside videos and tumblers and all that really interests me. So it kind of just came to fruition from there. Where the story came from, honestly, it started out just kind of the hitman basic kind of thing, and then I created three different characters that you would kill, right? And then spoiler, whatever. You had Tim, you had Julio, you had Noel, and you had Pepper. And then I had a friend play the game, not Mathew, actually, another friend who was just like, who played it and was like, okay, these are all pretty good. But the last one's the best one. And why don't you just make the whole game combined of all three of those things? And I was like, well, that's a really good idea. And then I just kind of went from there and then combined them and edited the first two storylines to actually fit in the narrative with the third one. And then ultimately, that's how you have the narrative of Adam Verdu kind of tracking down these two people and then going eventually for Pepper. And that's really the basic gist of the how that story came to be. I mean, a lot of the time, I feel like it's just a lot of collaboration. Like even NSA, I think at the initial start of the project, I always valued ideas a lot, but I think after making No Stranger and after almost being done with NSA, I think ideas are definitely worth something, but ultimately a lot of it is done in the day to day and what each in executing on that idea.
Yeah, and it changes so much, right? So we worked on No Stranger for about a year. And we're probably going to update it a little bit more moving forward with translations and bug fixes and stuff like that. But NSA has been just about a year as well, but about twice the amount of time worked on it. So yeah, the projects have moved a lot, and just like Hitman turned into No Stranger changed a lot, NSA has been through a lot of changes. So maybe we could talk a little bit about how that was versus No Stranger. NSA started as a prototype that Scott made in PowerPoint, and we played that, and I loved it. And then eventually we moved it into Unity, and we built on way more functionality, and we added the evidence system, which maybe we should talk about in a second. Let's finish the other question first. But yeah, and then it just expanded from there. So
Yeah, and the idea for NSA was pretty much one of my good friends worked at the NSA. He was an intern there, and I asked him what he did, and he was like, "I can't tell you. If I were to tell you, I guess they would have come for him or something." And any time I can't figure out what something is, I'm more intrigued by it. So this is our version of what we think an NSA intern would be doing. So that's kind of where the initial idea for the game came from.
Yeah, it's definitely based in realism. Like, this is our most accurate portrayal.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, this is actually what happens at the NSA.
In case so now you don't have to intern there, folks. If you want to know what happens, it's all right here.
Oh, well, of course. I mean, this is an internship from there. We're
Pretty
working
much.
with the National Safety Agency. I think it's important to note, though, for legal reasons, this is not the National Security Agency.
No.
This is the National Safety Agency. It's very different from the National
Much
Security.
more prestigious. much more important, right? We laugh at them. They're like in the CIA class level of like literally throw them next to the EPA. Nobody cares. This is safety we're talking about.
The EPA is a very important organization that does a lot of good work.
Okay, so what's our next question? Before this,
so the next question is from Ellis, and Ellis says, "Scott, are you still the Queen of Whites?" So this is a reference to a YouTube video, I believe, called Game of Chess, where I think I call myself the Queen of Whites. And yes, I am still the Queen of Whites. So thank you so much for the question.
Right on. All right. So what else is there to talk about? I guess. So yeah, we're super excited to launch NSA. To speak on it briefly, that's going to be available on Play Store later tonight, so that's July 4th, or maybe it's another day, depending on where you're viewing this from. But stuff to look forward to is we're releasing with free-to-play mission, which is about twice the content that you saw in No Stranger. So we're expecting a few hours of playing time from that. Different from No Stranger is you can affect the story, and you kind of change the ending depending on how you play it, which is an exciting thing to see how the players are going to interact with that. But then that's kind of just one mission, and we have a whole bunch of missions which we're going to add on to that, as well as a way to compete with other players in a training kind of mini game. So we're excited about that as well. And yeah, lots more forthcoming. So hopefully by the time you're seeing this, it's out and you can go check it out. And we really hope you like it. Send us feedback. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Hopefully it's as ridiculous as intended.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. All I can say is thank you to anybody who is still following us after No Stranger, because I feel like it's been a while since the launch of No Stranger, or at
It's
least
been a year, dude. It's been a year.
it's been over a year. And I want to just point out because that people, because I think that people don't know who you and I are. It's like Matthew and I, or at least I am now. And Matthew usually has like a full-time job. I'm a full-time student. So this is neither Matthew and I's full job. Like we're not doing this all day, every day. We do it a lot and we work really hard on it. But I just want to point out that, like, if you're ever wondering why it may take a longer time for us to get something done or anything like that, this isn't our full-time profession. We would love to do something like this full-time, but
Yeah.
the games just don't. The reality of it is that the games really just don't make enough money to do it.
Hopefully at some point, man. We'll see.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that would be fantastic.
That'd be dope, right? Yeah. So go buy those hashtag Masonic Jewels. Yeah, no, I mean, we're super grateful. We love every bit of feedback. We did a video recently. I have to upload it, where we're just going through all the feedback and, like, honestly, positive or negative, we just want to hear what you guys think. So if you think it's ridiculous, let us know. Tweet us, email us, whatever. We just love the feedback for sure.
That's Scott for you. Scott loves getting some good feedback. Yeah, and he's a great guy.
Yeah, go find his YouTube. All right. Yeah, is there anything else that you want to say or to close on?
Is there anything else I want to say? I mean, here's the thing, guys. Fans of No Stranger and potentially NSA, you are loved by someone, or you should love yourself. Honestly, self-love is the most important type of love. Care for yourself, mean something to yourself, do something for yourself every single day. If anything, and the reason why I bring this up is because we have fans from No Stranger who reach out either to the Adam Purdue account or to us on Twitter or wherever, or to my own personal thing. And that's totally okay. And we're always happy to hear from people. But I think the thing I realized is that, like, in our society, I don't think we're expressing enough self-love and enough care for ourselves. And that's something that No Stranger, I think a lot of people who or at least some of the people that gravitated towards that game were people who felt disconnected. And they felt like Adam was, and to some degree, a friend. Or at least that's what kind of happened. So if anything, I just want to say to our fans that you are worthy of love, you are worthy of life, you are worthy of your place in whatever this is, and never let anybody tell you otherwise. Because, and the last thing I'd say, as I said, was that value comes from inside, and it should always come from inside, because you're always going to have yourself.
All right, very well said. So enjoy your internship. Have a great time.
And download NSA.
Right? And say hi to Glassy for us. He's probably doing just all right. We really hope you have fun. See you soon. Thank you.